Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from True Off My Chest. Our first post is by Invader Jeer. Mother-in-law ignored my wishes and got my 3-week-old sick, and now I'm leaving my husband. I, 34 female, met my husband, 36 male, have been married to my husband for 5 years. It has been wonderful, aside from my mother-in-law. She's always had this emotional incest hold over him, and while he does try to come to my defense when she starts her nitpicking and sly comments, a lot of the time he drops the ball. Like when it was our 3-year anniversary and she came over knowing that I prepared all of this. I asked her for his favorite chicken recipe and ruined the night, and he said just let her stay, this time I'm done. We just had our baby boy 3 weeks ago, and as you can imagine I am not in the space for company or her flippant comments about how I'm parenting. Myself and my husband have both told her we need at least 2 months to get acclimated, and we don't want our son to get sick, and she will have to quarantine for at least a week before she can come over to see him. That may be a little much, but he's my first baby. After a week of badgering, she seemed like she understood. She assured him. This leads me to Friday. She comes over unannounced with balloons, presents, along with my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and her 2 friends who I don't even know. I stood there in horror and shock as she darted towards my baby and kissed his face. She knew he was leaving the second he's gone. She does this. I screamed at her and the family to get the hell out of my house. She called my husband crying, and he got back yesterday and told me that I needed to apologize, and she's just happy for the first boy grandchild. I'm actually crying while writing this because now he has a fever and my husband just doesn't get it. This is the last straw. I told him he needs to tell her to back off or I'm done. He said I was overreacting and she was just excited. His siblings did not know I didn't give her permission, and they called and apologized profusely. His mother feels like she's being ganged up on. Yesterday I talked to him, and I have come to the realization that I care so much about my baby getting sick, but he doesn't. I'm closing this chapter. I met with a good friend who is a lawyer, and I'm getting all my ducks in order. My husband is calling and blowing up my phone. I blocked his mother because she was too. I can't block him because he is the father of our child, and he does have rights to see his son, but I am done. He no longer has access to me. He'll have to go through a mediator, and only communication will be about our child. I'm heartbroken that 5 years are gone, but the fire inside of me from this situation is making it better. I had to come back here and edit that he no longer has access to me, but he will obviously still be in our son's life. I would never be that evil to keep him away from our son unless he was physically abusive to him. Also, he couldn't have gotten sick from me, because I've been holed up in a house for 3 weeks, pretty much. Yes, I meant my mother-in-law. I wrote this in a time where I was emotional. Sue me. I never said she could never see him, but it's recommended 2 to 3 months before introducing your baby to people. It was barely a month. If she had just waited, she could have saw him next month with no problem. I don't completely hate her or dislike her. Do I think she's annoying and overbearing? Yes, but I would never keep her away from him. A baby under 3 months getting sick is dangerous. So no, I am not overreacting for wanting her to wait 2 more weeks to see him. A lot of you have been saying I am emotional and hormonal, and I can agree, and this is not something I can come to a decision on in one day, and being 3 weeks postpartum, I see that now that I have calmed down. I will come back and update in a month or 2. Also, she had a spare key. No longer does. What else? It was 3 days before the fever came up. So there's your incubation period. He's 3 weeks. Sorry, I should have told him to wait until an appropriate amount of time has passed before he can be sick, and so we can adjust. Also, people have asked. My parents and family weren't allowed to see him either. It was never just about her because of what problems we had in the past. I would never be that evil unless she physically hurt him. She had a spare key. Update. I showed my husband this Reddit post and I let our doctor talk to him. And he sees how dangerous it was for her to bombard in like that, especially when we asked her to wait about 2 months, and he had a long talking to from his uncle about asking me to apologize. This isn't fixed, and I'm still upset, but we are setting up therapy because he says that he does need some pointers to help deal with his mother. He did talk to his mother, and she did apologize, and I do feel like it was genuine because she is very upset that he is sick, and ding-dong everyone. She has a cold. After she woke up feeling like crap, she called him crying and saying that she hopes this doesn't keep her from seeing the baby forever, and I assured her, just like I've been saying, that I was never going to keep her from seeing him forever. She is his grandmother, and I would never want to do that. I told her she can see him after she's gotten over her cold, and I explained to her this is what I wanted to prevent. She said she's going to wait at least 2 weeks before she's seeing him and wear a mask to be extra safe. Our next post is by Throwaway. Sister pushed pregnant mom down the stairs. I'm 23F, my sister is 10F, technically half-sister. My mom got married to my stepdad a while after my bio-dad died. They're both the best parents I could ever wish for. They are kind, accepting, understanding, and etc. I can't stress this enough. There is no abuse in our family, not even yelling. It all started when my sister, let's call her Jane, was 8. Mom and Dad said they're going to be trying for another baby. Jane was very unhappy with this and told me that much. We've always been pretty close, and she said that she enjoyed our parents' attention after I moved out for college. I empathized with her but also tried to tell her how cool it is to get to be the big sister. Jane was not convinced. She became more possessive of Mom and Dad and would cry frequently. They put her in therapy and also had family therapy. I'm not sure of the details, but the therapist was concerned about something. Due to Mom's age, early 40s, postponing the pregnancy wasn't really an option, so they kept trying. It took them about a year before they announced we would be having a new sibling. Jane shut down completely. She became angry and withdrawn. Parents changed therapists because the first one didn't seem to be helping. The second one said to let Jane adjust and feel her feelings. When Mom was 5 months pregnant, Jane forcefully pushed her down the stairs. Mom had to go to the hospital and had a head trauma and subsequently lost the baby. It was absolutely insane. It happened on the backside of the house where we have a platform and a steep wooden staircase leading to it, and a camera had caught the entire incident. I must have re-watched that video 1,000 times. There is no mistake that it was done maliciously and with intent. I drove back home from college and missed 1/3 of a semester helping my parents deal with this. The police and CPS got involved. Every single person I've encountered during this time seemed to be creeped out by Jane. She showed no remorse. All she cared about was that there was no baby. She was committed to a psych facility for 3 months, and that visit came back inconclusive. She has never ever displayed such unhinged behavior, just normal 9-year-old things like, I don't want to clean, or let me stay up past my bedtime. I've always thought she was a fairly calm little girl. I went on the internet, and in extreme cases like that there always seemed to be signs, like being maliciously disobedient or killing animals or something. Jane was normal up until the baby thing. Literally no warning, no nothing, and the atmosphere back home is so weird now. Mom isn't really a mom to her anymore. She actively avoids Jane and just does the bare minimum. Feeds her, gets her to and from school, and gets her to and from the CPS-mandated therapist. Stepdad is doing all the emotional work basically. Why am I posting IDK TBH? This is such a weird place to be in. I mean, I still love my sister, but there's gotta be some kind of reason why she resorted to violence and murder? At 9 years old? 9-year-olds don't know crap. How did she even know that pushing someone down the stairs will do it? She doesn't even have internet access. Edit. I know you guys mean well, but just give her up isn't an option in my state. It's a red state with crap protect the family laws that would have both of my parents in jail for child abandonment, and Jane does not qualify for removal due to safety concerns, as there are no other children in the household and no official diagnosis. The current plan is a boarding school in 2 years, and maybe a residential facility before that if we can find one that has good reviews. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.